Okay, so today we talk about 2013's Donnie Yen film, Special ID. About 100 minutes worth. It's a typical Hong Kong action film. Takes you right back to the glory days of the 80s super cop type films. Again, this was a movie that I had in my collection for quite a long time, but only watched recently, because I kind of got sick of Donnie Yen films over-flooding the market, so to speak. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Donnie Yen fan, and I always have been. It's just so many of his films came out in one sort of pile. It was just like they all went on the back burner for me. So this movie obviously starring Donnie Yen as an undercover police officer, Jing Tian, Andy On, and Colin Chu, directed by Clarence Fock. The movie was received in a mediocre kind of fashion. I guess, again, possibly because of the overflooding of the movies on the market at that time. I quite enjoyed it. It almost felt like a sequel to Flashpoint, also starring Donnie Yen. It didn't have as big of an impact for me as Flashpoint did, but it was quite fun. Now let me just talk quickly a little bit about Flashpoint. Flashpoint had a great impact on me. It was the first Hong Kong martial arts film that I encountered that predominantly displayed mixed martial arts techniques. I think it was a great combination to have that Hong Kong action to be mixed with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu moves and Muay Thai moves. I think another main aspect of Flashpoint was the character development. I really hated the bad guys in that film, and it really did give me pleasure to see Donnie Yen beating the crap out of these bad guys, and especially Colin Chu, who was playing a really great bad guy in that film. He really got my skin crawling, and I couldn't wait to see Donnie take him on, and I pretty much cheered towards the end there when Donnie was just giving it to the guy. No offense to Colin, played a great bad guy. So this film kind of feels like a loose sort of sequel to that. The opening fight scene between Donnie and a couple of thugs is fantastic. He utilises a lot of groundwork and ground game, which is great to see on film. For those of you who've trained in Jiu-Jitsu and ground fighting, very much appreciate that first fight scene. Again, Donnie's professionalism in his appearance when he's playing certain roles, again, he's physically very different to the way he was in other movies. There's also something a little bit strange that I got from him in this film. They're kind of Adam Sandler sort of isms. I'm not sure what it is. There's something very Adam Sandler about his appearance in this film. I can't put my finger on what that is. Again, we fall into the cliches of one good guy fighting like 10 guys at one time, 20 guys at one time. Unfortunately, you're going to get that in Hong Kong martial arts related films. It's not overplayed here, but you do have a few scenes like that. A lot of police story sort of cliches that you encounter in this film as well. That whole thing with Donnie Yen's mother in the start, I kind of spotted a mile away. Spoiler alert, something happens to her towards the end of the film, and you could kind of see that coming. There is some great talent here in this movie. Colin Chu is back again in this film. Although he's not playing the same sort of bad guy that he was in Flashpoint, he's still a little bit of a dislikable sort of character in this film too. Colin Chu, who I didn't realise was actually from Kaohsiung in Taiwan, appeared in those later Matrix movies, Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. 1990's Encounter of the Spooky Kind Part 2, the 2006 Jet Li film Fearless, the Jackie Chan Jet Li film The Forbidden Kingdom from 2008, that was a great film. He's definitely been around. And in this film, he plays kind of a mobster sort of boss sort of character, so he's not very hands-on. Jing Tian plays a very typical 1980s style police agent. Of course, you kind of get that odd couple thing going on with Donnie's character and her character. She has some great fight scenes throughout the film. They're great fun to watch. She's appeared in movies like Police Story 2013, The Great Wall from 2016, and Pacific Rim Uprising from 2018. I think she's also a singer as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. In a bit of strangeness, she was nominated for Most Disappointing Actress at the Golden Broom Awards. She was nominated 3 times and won twice, so that kind of sucks a bit. Andy On plays the main villain in this film, and the main nemesis to Donnie Yen's character. You've seen him in Black Mask Part 2 from 2002. In fact, he's been in quite a number of films. He was in New Police Story with Jackie Chan, and also of note is that he is a singer. His hobbies are video games and martial arts. He's a Wing Chun practitioner and has also studied Thai boxing. This movie is quite enjoyable with the typical cop cliches. It kind of takes you back in time to the 1980s Hong Kong police movies. There's a notable scene with Jing Tian where she's chasing down Andy On, and she jumps onto the side of the vehicle. She hangs from the side of the vehicle, she gets into the vehicle, she fights him off, she gets kicked back out again. It's very reminiscent of Cynthia Khan's scene in The Line of Duty Part 4, where she's kind of climbing onto the side of an ambulance and she's fighting the bad guys, getting knocked out, getting dragged across the floor, jumping back in. The scene in this film doesn't have as much of an impact as Cynthia Khan's scene. Apparently Cynthia Khan still wakes up having nightmares from doing that scene, from what she said in interviews. Jing Tian's scene is quite evidently assisted with wires. Probably a few more safety measures were implemented as well, seeing as it's not the 1980s anymore. The last fight scene between Donnie Yen and Andy On kind of comes out of nowhere. There's a car chase, and then for some reason, I didn't quite catch how this happened. Andy's character is still clinging onto the side of a bridge, he gets up, they have their fight scene. Great fight scene. And I was glad to not see the typical end come about at the end of that fight scene, as in no death. So that was quite refreshing. You kind of get sick of all this death, you know, bad guy kills somebody, then they kill the bad guy, or the bad, you know. It's kind of refreshing to not see that happen in this type of film. Again, I'm trying not to give spoilers away here, so I'm not being specific about anything in particular, except for that scene, but other things that happen in the film. So yeah, overall, Special ID, I was quite impressed with. I wish I'd seen it earlier. Not as good as Flashpoint, but on par. It just didn't have that same impact for me. Definitely a great film, great fight choreography, and Donnie Yen was good fun to watch in this film. Jing Tian was great fun to watch as well. So if you're a fan of the whole Kung Fu cop thing, definitely give it a look. You won't be disappointed.